Welcome to the Sim Racing Paddock. I'm William Marsh, and we are going GT3 racing at Mosport, also known as Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So I'm in the BMW Z4 GT3. I have very little practice time on this, but I am going to try to make the best out of it. This is also my first public race with triple screens, and also my first race with the Heusinkveld Engineering Pro pedals. So this is going to be an exciting race. Mosport has been a pretty decent track to me. I have run a few races in the Radical as well as the Prototype GT racing series, so I've always been able to log a decent finish, but in GT3, you never know. So one of the things I want to talk about in this video is the element of having different types of pedal technology. One thing that a lot of people were critical of with the Heusinkveld pedals is that they have 3 load cells on the pedals. And generally, load cells are associated with pressure, especially with the brake. And that is largely true. You have the pressure-based brake, and load cells do measure pressure. So, with that being said, load cells are capable of having a linear force. So, with that, you are able to really have a linear torque curve to an extent, and a lot of that is actually calibrated in the DX view, so, actually, or it's DI view or something like that, and you have the settings and you adjust it to have the feeling you want. You only use about 50 to 60% of the range on the gas and the clutch. You only get that amount of linear torque or that linear force. So with that being said, you have a linear gas pedal, a semi-linear clutch because you simulate the digressive clutch, and then you have the non-linear brake that's pressure-based. And here's the green flag, guys. I'm going to shut up for a minute. I hear some contact, so let's keep an eye out. I'm just letting that Merc by. Oh, slow car. There's likely either a spin or a wreck or both. So let's take a look. It looks like everything's cleared out. All things considered for a GT3 race, this is a pretty decent start, especially considering this is likely the bottom split. Oh, slow car, slow car. This is gonna be ugly, guys. Oh, careful. Ease out, okay. So, in this video, I wanted to share some of my thoughts on these pedals that I received from Heusinkveld. I have them mounted on my GT Omega Pro cockpit as I, dang it, clip tire on the grass. Easier said than done to talk while driving, but as I was saying, I am comparing, or I mounted these pedals onto my GT Omega Pro cockpit as I go inside this guy. And I will say these things barely fit. If you notice, I have a camera pointing down to the pedals, and I barely have any clearance at all from this rig's wheel bar. Whew. And that really has to sort of have me modify my feeling of how I press on the gas. Because if I press too close, then I will actually hit my foot against the bar. Same thing with the brake. Clutch is okay. But all things considered, oh, lost that car in the grass. Free position. All things considered, these pedals are manageable on a GT Omega. I've had a few people asking me that, and these pedals work. I did have to rotate the pedal plate on the gas pedal, but it does work. These pedals with the plate, which I was sent as well, it actually mounts onto the Logitech G27 or G29 or G25 pedal holes. And that is a pretty cool move that it can use the same holes. One thing I will mention is this chassis does flex under the load of the brake. So once you notice I hit this corner, alright, these tight corners, I'm gonna do some heavy braking. You can see the chassis flex a little bit. It's not really a big notice while driving, but it is something worth mentioning. I will say though, these are some of the smoothest pedals I've used in sim racing. They definitely are extremely fluid in motion. It has a nice progressive feel, and I will say it instills a lot of confidence in my driving. Granted, the baseline setup in the Z4 GT3 is crap for this track. I should have checked the forums for a setup or something, but alas, I'm okay. I'm just having fun, and it looks like I'm have decent pace with Jess. So, all things considered, it's gonna be a fun race. Crap, 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 crap. Well, there goes Jess. Actually, never mind. It's been about 2 years since I've raced here. This corner, turn 2, reminds me so much of Sonoma Raceway. And if you just put too much speed in there, it's gonna end badly. But all things considered, this is definitely a fun track. It will definitely bite you if you treat it poorly. So I'm going to have a more in-depth review of the Heusinkveld pedals likely next week, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, put it on a rating scale, and just sort of give advice for other people looking at this set. But I will say that should come out by the end of next week. Some other videos I have planned in the pipeline are an analysis between the big three sim engines on the PC side. And that is the engine that powers iRacing, the engine that powers Assetto Corsa, and the ISI motor engine. I'm just going to let this guy go. And I just want to... Oh! He's off again. And I just want to take a look at the engines, see what they can do, see what they can't do, see their pros, see their cons, and how they have shaped the sim racing world. So I think that's going to be a great video. Next week, I am actually going to San Francisco to check out Dirt 4. So that will also be another exciting thing to look forward to. That should be in a couple weeks. But there is going to be interesting developments in this sim racing world. And I am stoked to see what's going to happen. Thank you very much. Use up all the track there. Little hot in there. But I'm definitely looking forward for Dirt 4. I played a lot of Dirt Rally, and that was a great title. Rather shallow in content, but all things considered, it was a great title. A lot of fun. But I would say Dirt 4, if it truly does evolve on the handling model that Dirt 3 had, it's going to be a great piece. Also, my GT Omega review should be coming soon. I've put about 15-20 hours on it, gathering together my pros and cons. I also have to put it back together since I moved it to a new studio. And with that, I have to just put back the shifter, put back the keyboard tray. But it's going to be an interesting review. An interesting thing that happened, though, is that I have the seat on rails. And somehow, these bolts that are on the bottom, they actually dug into the seat. So I have 4 tears where the 4 bolts are. I really should just that up. I'm gonna let him pass me on the right. So, there's definitely a lot exciting going on in the world of sim racing in 2017. We had the new update for rFactor 2 slated for release in May 1st of 2017, and that will bring DirectX 11, and it will also bring virtual reality support and the new user interface, which can't come soon enough. rFactor 2 really does feel dated in that aspect, but anything else that can bring it to be a better title, I'd say more power to them. I am going to also be having an interview with Marcel Offermans of Studio 397, and that will be available on our website. That will not be a video, that will be a written piece that I will be posting on simracingpaddock.com, so stay tuned to there. And also, I will have a discussion in our forums covering that, and I can have you ask what questions you would like for me to ask. So, if you have any specific rFactor 2 questions you'd like me to ask Marcel, then you can go to our forums. Link will be below in the description, and you can ask, and I will see if I can include that in the interview. In addition, I am planning on getting together with Chris and Alan Speed of Sector 3 Studios. Dang it, another off. I'm planning on getting together with Chris and Alan Speed of Sector 3 Studios and with Simbin, and I will try to get some discussion regarding GTR3 and the future of Race Room Racing experience. So that should also be another great thing to stay tuned for. I will have more details as time goes on, but the first interview will be with Marcel of Studio 397. Another exciting development is after I reviewed the GT Omega, I will be getting another cockpit to share my thoughts and review on, and that will be a cockpit from Visaro. Yep, we nagged a big one. So Visaro is a company located out of the UK, and they are known for creating extremely high-end simulators. Think about almost like the CXC simulations of the Europe, or of the EU. Actually, no, Britain's not in the EU anymore. But it is the sort of the commercial grade sector, but they also have an element where they have the consumer market as well. So Visaro splits themselves into the commercial and the consumer. So they have elements available on both, so that is also an exciting thing. Okay, this race is getting close to halfway over. So that will also be a great thing to stay tuned for. Also, a new series I'm looking to start in the near future is an instructional series, where nowadays in sim racing, we don't have nearly as much in the way of instructing drivers how to become a better driver. With sim racing, it is so close to reality that you really do learn a lot of what's going on with the car. You learn a lot of vehicle dynamics. You learn cornering, you learn the racing line, all these things. But now, we don't have really much in the way of drivers really learning how to handle themselves, how to learn a track, how to do all this, do that. And that, I think, is one of the reasons the community is hurting a bit. But I am looking to try to create this series and see about bringing that to life, bringing this to be able to see where we can teach the new drivers, teach the people coming over from Forza, coming over from Gran Turismo, and teach them how to become better drivers. Because part of the enjoyment of sim racing is nailing that series of corners, having a great race, racing wheel to wheel with someone and not hitting them, but actually genuinely racing close. So I want to be able to help that out. Oh wow, I'm in top 10. Nice. I've had a couple offs, but my nose is clean at least. So, I just wanted to spend another brief minute talking about the brake pedal on the Heusinkveld pedals. So, I've had my experiences with load cell. I've had my experience with hydraulic brakes. I've had potentiometer brakes. But I will say, this is one of the best brakes I've used in a long time. But I will say, the best thing about it is the customization. Different cars have different types of brakes. A race car has a drastically different brake, say, than in my Volkswagen GTI. So, the GTI has a significantly mushier brake. It has quite a bit of give before actually feeling the solidity. This, you have very little give, and then you feel the solid, and you modulate your pressure against that wall, so to speak. So you can adjust with the different bushings that I'll talk about in my review, but I've actually liked the stock feeling, all things considered. Yellow flag, okay, car in the middle of the track. Oh, it's Jess again. But the brake in this truly is a great feel. It feels authentic. That's what matters. And I would say for people looking to make a significant investment in their brake, I would recommend a high-end pedal set such as this, or Derek Spear, or Emery Emmons pedals, or HPP, or something like that. Pedals really do go a long way. And I will also point you to my will high-end set of pedals make you a better racing driver video. That is a follow-up to my popular will a high-end wheel make you a better driver video, and I decided to talk about why I feel pedals make you a better driver. And I'd say the big thing with that is the higher you go with the pedals, the closer they are to a real car. And the same is true for a wheel, but at the same time, once you get to the higher end Logitech, the Fanatic, Thrustmaster, they're all going to have at least 900 degrees of rotation. So with that being said, you're going to be able to at least simulate the steering accurately. But with the pedals, it's not until you get to the Fanatic CSL Elites or the Club Sport pedals that you start getting the load cell. But with the higher end pedals, you're going to have so much better modulation of the gas and the brake, and even to an extent the clutch. So with that, you're going to be able to control the car better, especially through the corners, handle oversteer and understeer that much better. And you're just going to be able to conduct yourself better. So I highly recommend giving that video a watch also. Video will be in the description below, so keep your eye out for that too. So I will say, great set of pedals. Right now I am still using the Fanatic Club Sport wheel V3 or V2, but I am going to see that swapped out for the Club Sport V2.5 in the near future. I was going to actually review the V2 a couple weeks ago, but I had the wheel on the table ready to film the review, and I get surprised with the announcement that the V2 has been discontinued. So about 3 months of testing the pedals and the wheel, all for naught. But all things considered, it is going to be good for me. I'd say reviewing the Club Sport V2.5 is better than reviewing a wheel that's been on the market for a couple years now. So I think that will work out, and it will allow me to give you a solid, informative review, especially comparing to the Club Sport Wheel V2, and that should be a great thing. So now I'm just going to go off on a bit of a random rant right now about the state of NASCAR. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the new splitting the race into bite-sized fragments. I think it comes off a little tacky. There was always that beauty in racing that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But now they're making into just a series of short sprints, where I'm not sure how to feel about that. It is a bit of a pain, to be honest, where I understand they want the exciting racing. I understand they want the action, but is this really the best way to go about it? I mean, halftime, it's good for football, it's good for hockey, it's good for other sports, but racing is supposedly to challenge the driver and to make them last a long amount of time. With this halftime, it sort of cheapens the sport, in my opinion. And like passing out halftime trophies, it's dumb. I mean, imagine the Super Bowl. If the Atlanta Falcons got halftime trophies, or dare I say segment, they would have 3 trophies, but not the big one. They would have, for the first 3 quarters, small trophies, but they wouldn't have won the Lombardi trophy. So that is just, I feel, upsetting to see what they did with NASCAR. I'm hoping there's a chance that they'll revise it and remove it. I just don't think it really does much good for the sport as a whole. Sure, it might increase the racing a bit, but all in all, it's just not healthy. Formula One, on the other hand, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And oh wow, I did not realize that I was so low on fuel. Okay, I'm gonna pit this time around. But yeah, Formula One is going to be interesting to see what Liberty Media does with the sport. I'm really hoping they don't Americanize it, where they don't want to tack on needless stuff. But I will say F1 needs to improve too, and from what I've seen so far, they might be on the right track. Okay, I'm in the pits. Okay, that should be enough fuel. Optional repairs, likely from when I went off the track or something. I'm not really going to worry about that. Car was handling decent. But yeah, Formula One, it's going to be exciting to see. I am a big fan of the wider tires. I'm not sure how much of an effect it's going to be on the racing, though. But all things considered, faster cars, breaking track records should be exciting to see. And it's also good to see Ferrari back in a competitive position. Growing up, I was always seeing Formula One as the pinnacle of sorts. But it sort of fell off, and seeing it on track to become relevant again, become big, that should be awesome to see. The other interesting development is IndyCar, where This year, there isn't too much going on that I'm aware of, but next year they're going to be changing their body styles, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. I was sort of in the minority where I didn't mind the cars really. Crap. Okay, I'm still on. But I would say that any improvement is welcome. And it'll be interesting seeing what teams take advantage, what teams struggle. I would love to see more manufacturers enter IndyCar again, though. That's something that's sort of missing from the sport. Because right now there's Honda and Chevrolet. Back in the day there was Mercedes, Lotus, and other manufacturers that made it definitely interesting. So I would love to see more diversity and to see what happens. Granted, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but hey, anyone can be optimistic. So let's see how much time we have left. We have 11 minutes. Do I have 11 minutes worth of stuff to talk about? I'm going to take a couple laps to think, and I'm going to shut up, and you can just listen. Got a little bit squirrely there, but all things considered, I will say that corner, that hairpin, is a blast if you get it right, a nightmare if you get it wrong. So one other thing I wanted to consider, I wanted to talk a little bit about, is the difference between bigger and smaller wheels. Does size really matter? Yeah, it does. At least for wheels. So, with a larger wheel, if you consider, it's almost like a lever. Actually, almost the opposite of a lever. Where the larger the wheel, the less force is required. So, so when you have a smaller wheel, such as a 10 or 11 inch wheel, you feel more force when turning. Oh! He just spun. I don't know if he hit the wall, but he just... Oh, he's out of the race! Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I bid thee adieu, Jess. It was good racing with you. You are a very clean racer. Props to you. Okay, so, back to what I was saying. A smaller wheel. With, let's say, both wheels are driven with the same amount of force. A smaller wheel, you're going to need more strength to turn. So, you are going to have the force taking more to, or what am I saying? With a smaller wheel, you're going to need more strength to have similar turning, because you have the strength going over a shorter distance from the center of the wheel. With a larger wheel, that force is dispersed more over the diameter of the rim, so the steering will feel lighter, less strength required. Likewise, when you have a shorter steering wheel, you are going to have more agile steering, because the diameter of the steering wheel is shorter. You are going to have a smaller circumference, where with a larger wheel, you're going to have a larger circumference. That means you need to turn the wheel more to get the same degrees of rotation. So, I don't know the math off the top of my head, but if you wanted to turn the wheel 90 degrees to the right with a GT wheel, you're going to have to steer far more than with a Formula wheel. Okay. Jeffrey, pass me on the straight. I just want to let Jeffrey by me. I don't want to really mess up anyone's day. But with a smaller wheel, you're going to need more strength to turn the wheel, but the car is going to be more agile. With a larger steering wheel, you're going to have less strength required to steer the car, but the car is going to not be as agile. It's going to be a little, not really sloppy, but maybe floaty is the word. But bottom line, it does come down to personal preference. You see a lot of people fit aftermarket smaller steering wheels on their car because they want a better steering feel, and they feel that heavier is stronger and heavier is a better feel. All things considered, it's going to come down to personal preference. My Infiniti G20, I kept the stock steering wheel on, and I liked the feel even though it was a bit lighter. And this steering wheel that I'm using right now reminds me of that feeling in my Infiniti. Also in my Volkswagen, it has a similar feel. So I feel right at home with this rim. But say I take an open wheel car, such as the Formula 1 out for a spin. I'm going to swap it out for the Formula 1 rim because I'm looking for a stronger feel. I'm looking for a more agile car. And that is really what matters. I'm likely going to have a more in-depth video talking about the forces associated with smaller and larger steering wheels in a later video, because likely with a lot of people, they aren't going to be watching this far into the video, so I might dedicate a video comparing different steering wheels. So maybe look forward to that on the channel. and we'll see how that goes. Whoa! But I will say, there's a lot of exciting stuff in the horizon for Sim Racing Paddock. So please, if you like this video, and also if you like our other videos, check out simracingpaddock.com, join our forums, subscribe, and please like this video and help keep us on track. And we will have a lot more exciting content coming in the next upcoming months. Let's see. Okay, we have 2 minutes left in the race. I'm just going to shut up, let the race finish, and hope you guys enjoy watching. Checker flag. That's going to be a wrap. And best lap to end the day. Hey, 8th place. I will take that. That was better than I thought I would do, but all things considered, I am happy with a top 10. And I would like to thank all of you guys for watching and supporting Sim Racing Paddock, and I look forward to sharing with you the exciting developments and what is going to be coming in the future. So remember, if you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Check out some of our other videos, check out our website and forum, and join the community. For the Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have a great rest of your day.